In my last video, I had been testing an evasion build Halloween Frederika, where we put all our eggs into the evasion basket and hope to have some chocolate ones. Now, we are switching some of the evasion eggs for offensive eggs and trying to go for a more offensive build, something that kills enemies faster. We'll see if that performs better, and at the end of the video, I'll give my verdict and which is the better, the more hybrid setup or the full evasion one. Let's go. So our team this time is two strike units alongside with Frederika. Like last time, there is slash attack up and strike attack down in this map, so take these factors into consideration. Our Frederika has bells now because she needs a lot of AP if she's going to kill the enemy team. We've also turned off the AoE resistance buff that she had in order for her to use her single target evasion up buff, because in a setup where we take away some evasion by swapping the Titan VC and swapping some other stuff, we need her to have some ways to make up for that lost evasion. We're also going to run Wish for Peace on Tifa because it's a luck up buff in an AoE, which means it makes everybody more evady for a while. So that's really the where we're going for. We've also switched her thing to Glamour's Way because this gives her an accuracy down move, which is very fun, and also a critical rate up move. We've changed the luck up for critical hit rate and critical damage up. I hope she'll crit a lot and do a lot of damage. I'm really trying to find ways to make her into a one-punch machine. The other change we've made from the other setup, if we've changed the Titan VC for the Ifrit VC. So now instead of 1000 attack, she's got 1261, which is significantly higher. Still, she's in a range where she will die in a single hit. She's also lost a little bit of luck. 438 is not as much, but it's not a terrible change. It's just really the change in passive that's making that little bit of a difference. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Then we have Tifa. She's got 10,000 attack, not as much as when she has her own VC. She will not be a carry by herself, but she can do a significant job still. Still a bit of tankiness, 22 defense, and some weak resistances. So it's not as strong as the other Tifas you'll see, but she has strike attacks, so she has some synergies with some other of our team members. Then finally, Vinera is still a beast. Now she's got 1200 attack thanks to the Ifrit VC, so she hits a lot harder, a lot more HP as well. So overall, I think she's stronger in the current build. We've swapped Spellblade for Ninja because we don't care about the magic resistance up that much since everybody on our team this time has some evasion. It was not true when we had Luel and we really needed the buff, but for now, we're trying to go for something a little bit different. So with that said, let's go fight. Alright, let's begin this with, cost 100 Wonder with Yuna paired with them. They have an accuracy down move. They seem to be built for kind of a weird evasion slash support build, which could be very strong, especially because the second Fred gets hit by one of them, she's likely to go down. I think she might be able to take a single hit from the enemy Yuna before dying, but that's about it. And then hopefully she can one-shot the enemy Yuna back because Aeon Bond is such a pain in the butt, but I guess we'll see. So the first thing that's going to happen on our team is Vinera rushes to Tifa and uses an offensive buff on the two of them. This is very good, it's exactly what we want. Then Tifa should be using Wish for Peace on Halloween Fred, giving her 3 turns, where she is almost impossible to hit. This is exactly what we want Fred to have. With that, she's going to use her own evasion buff as well. So here's the thing, Fred needs damage, right? So we've built her for that, but she's also a lot less evady than what she would have in our previous video. And so to make up for that lack of evasion, we are giving her more buffs than she had last time. So she needs a little bit more help, but technically with all those buffs up, she should be able to perform rather well while still not dying too easily. So from there, Vinera is going to use bells and move into the enemy's range, so I'm very scared of what's going to happen now. Tifa uses another buff, which is great, and Fred is apparently not in range, so decides to stay right next to Sterne. Sterne uses the evasion down move and still misses a single hit, so that's definitely good. And then we managed to dodge another one. Wow, I'm very impressed. Fatal Pirouette though, not the damage I would like from a girl who we just spec'd for maximum damage. Vinera though follows that up and finishes down one enemy member who comes back to life, the other one just dies, so overall not a terrible performance. Then we take the Enhanced Holy, but that should definitely be a kill. Yep, 5,000 damage. There we go. Fred is out for the count. She dodged a single hit, which was very important, and then Duane's attack. So we've taken out 2 enemy members. They do have full life, so they move into position for that and manage to cast it immediately. So Sterne will come back, but unless he takes a turn right now, Vinera will just say, stay down, and punch him again. So yeah, just like I talked about, our team this time has a lot more attack than the previous one, and so that makes a huge difference in our ability to one-punch enemy members. Enemy Yuna throws out the space chicken, if we say it the way Auronnj does, but it doesn't really do much on Tifa, right? It just procs courage. It doesn't matter at all. She's still alive to hit. And anyways, I'm expecting Yuna to die from that snowball fight. Snowball fight has insane damage, and Venera is very, very strong. So 5200, never mind. She apparently survives by a very thin margin. And so it's up to Tifa to finish her off, but Tifa's not in range. So Yuna goes for, I guess, another holy, but Venera's then, nope, it's over. You have Earth Resistance down, so now I can kill you. This one should be fun. Yupikin is the one that did the Frederika animation for my Twitch, so I feel like targeting him a little bit. But he's got 2 custom 100 and Halloween Fred. He is built for some luck up, which is not great for us, and then offense. So he has a half offensive Halloween Fred, which I like. It's definitely a build that I would run. So let's just see how that matchup goes. And something I'm considering swapping is using Bells or something else on our Halloween Fred instead of the full evasion equipment, but I feel like she's still rather evadey with our current build while having a lot more damage. So I like that more in, you know, the one match we've done so far compared to the previous video. I guess we'll see how this one goes though. So there Jayden chooses not to attack immediately. So now he has 71 AP, which is enough to keep attacking for 17 turns. I definitely don't like that. So we have our Wish for Peace, great, some luck up means some more evasion for us. On top of defensive footwork, we should be very hard to hit for now. What does Jayden do? He uses Bells and keeps running forward, so now he's in our range, but I don't think we can one-punch him. I've never seen a Fred one-punch a Jayden before. Hopefully I'll be surprised. Our build does have a lot more offense than the previous one, so let's see just what happens. Tifa's buffed for some offense, we have Bells on Victora, and Drain Flurry, well, consider me impressed. With a proper build in offense, she is able to one-punch somebody. And then the enemy Fred just chooses to target our Tifa for some reason, and I'm really not sure what's going on right there. So, enemy Elena comes in, Prismatic Punishment. Yeah, that, I don't know how many hits she's gonna land here. Miss, hit, hit. Okay, pretty bad for us. We did take quite the beating. And then Venera comes in, uses the LB, and it seems like enemy Elena is not evading. So our squad, even though we don't have Alex Ring or Marshmallow Hats, is able to hit rather reliably. So 5600, she's just about to lose courage. Tifa does a number on Halloween Fred. We always knew that was going to be a thing. But then our H Fred pops the courage, and immediately enemy Elena is very much damaged. Enemy Elena then uses Banish Blade and kills her Tifa once. Maybe I should turn off Unparalleled Strength so that Tifa has courage, but I feel like this is a good enough squad as it is right now. So we take down Yupi. This time, it seems like while we're climbing to record this video, we encountered Auronnj, so might as well fight his team. Now, he's got a more bulky team than what we run, right? They have Courage, Re-Raise, yeah, they are going to be dying several times over, and they also have some extra resistances, some good evasion, so I don't know just how well we'll do. We do have the advantage of having our Tifa and just having overall crazy evasion, so I don't know how somebody like Aileen, for example, is going to land a couple hits. Now, granted, I did not check, maybe she had an accuracy up equipment or some other stuff that I did not factor in, but yeah, I have to target the Auronnj team, right? We have to try it out. So they have one courage, and then Bells. Surprisingly enough, I don't feel like Halloween Rairyuu needs the Bells that much, but maybe it'll make a difference. If he ever is close to running out of AP, we'll know that the Bells did play a pretty huge role in this fight. Also, they're rather far from our Fred, so I think her buffs might run out before the fight, goes too intense. But there we go. They have Re-Raise, they have all their lives are up except for one on Halloween Rairyuu, and he does have time to use it right now. So we have to kill Zazan 3 times, Rairyuu twice, and Aileen twice. And then, I don't like the fact that Rairyuu immediately moved in range of our Venera, because now she uses her LB, but she's all out of AP, and she only made him lose 1 life. So definitely not an ideal scenario for us. Let's see what Fred can do. Chooses to attack him again, and it seems like Venera's attack was barely not enough to proc the courage, so he's actually still got 2 lives left. Definitely a bad thing for us. So Venera has a chain on her, Rairyuu follows that out and finishes off Venera while missing one of us. So, at least that's one positive thing. And then what can Tifa do? Well, she says, goodbye Rairyuu, you've lost one of your lives. Who will Venera finish off? Chooses to go for Zazan, so Zazan has now lost 2 of his lives, but he's still really much active. Aileen, not in range just yet, and then a triple spinal blow from Zazan hits all 3 times. This is very, very bad for us. Can Rairyuu hit the finish? No, he misses us. So far, I think evasion is definitely saving our life. That and Tifa just killing everybody in the back. So she's killed Aileen once, and at that point, I believe the enemy team has lost all their extra lives, so they don't have any more countermeasures. What can Aileen do? Well, she immobilizes Tifa while being out of range, so I think that's very good, but Rairyuu's just there in the back, being useless and missing all his attacks. So Halloween Fred says, goodbye zombie, you go miss your attacks somewhere else. In the meantime, Tifa actually dodged a hit, and she is not built with that much evasion on our squad, so the enemy Aileen was just a little bit blind. Here we go, Tifa wins, and we take down Auronnj. Now, I believe we've found a squad that we will lose to, because Warrior of Light is almost impossible to deal with for our team, and he also has some strike resistance, which will be rough for us, and some slash resistance. Guess what are the 2 damage types we do the most? But I want to test it out and see if we can somehow make that work, so we'll target it anyways and see. Again, we are sporting a much more offensive squad this time, but the enemy team, Elena is very accurate, they have a lock-up VC, and Yuna can land guaranteed hits very easily. They also have a lot of healing, while we will struggle with killing anybody, so it's going to be a good test, I feel. My biggest hope is that the enemy Warrior of Light does not come into our squad too soon, allowing for Venera to use spells. We need her to have a lot of AP if we are to take down anyone in this fight. Also, having Courage on Tifa, if she has time to use that, will make a huge difference. So here we go, defensive footwork, that is a great buff. Then that's probably a re-raise on the Warrior of Light, which is fine. I much prefer re-raise on Warrior of Light than I do on Elena, because if she dies to some AoE attacks out of nowhere, it will be good for us. Seems like I was wrong though, and it was actually on Yuna. Even better. Yuna will not have as much of an impact on our team because we have good magic resistance overall, so I'm not expecting this to be too much of a problem. Maybe I'll be wrong though, I guess we'll see. So Tifa has her offensive buff, and then Fred chooses not to do anything. I thought I had left on the sub job buff, but I guess not, so she just wasted a turn. Not great. So enemy Elena has Courage, that's fine, and then Yuna starts moving in. Let's see what happens. Fatal Pirouette uses all of our AP, so Fred's out of AP and basically did nothing to Warrior of Light. There we go, an enemy with good slash resistance will completely shut her down. And then this, well, he has strike resistance up with Elena's VC, so it doesn't do much either. So he's only lost half his HP, while we've used most of our powerful attacks, and we actually get one punched by the enemy Elena after the Warrior of Light's attack. So really not going well at all. Actually, if I was trying to imagine a scenario that could go worse, I don't know what that would be. Tifa also chooses to use all her AP bar by dropping this, but nope, I guess she still has some. I'm not too sure what's going on here, but enemy Warrior of Light is healed by another 4,000, and we'll just start punching him with our weakest attacks. At that point, yeah, we don't dodge any hit from the enemy Elena because they were all coming from behind, and we're just trying to take down Warrior of Light, but it is very difficult. Meanwhile, enemy team says, Warrior of Light, how about I give you Protect and Shell because you seem to be taking too much damage? And he's like, oh, thank you, now I'm even more invincible. So enemy Elena goes back to the back, lands all 4 attacks. So that tells you just how low her miss chance actually was. And at that point, Tifa hits for 700, Warrior of Light increases his defense and reaction, saying, I will end this fight with full HP, and you have nothing to say about it. And Yuna's like, okay, if that's what you like, Warrior of Light, let's actually put you at full HP. So he's like, thank you, Yuna, but you failed. And so he's still going to hit Tifa and finish the fight, but he will be very disappointed. Let's finish this with a pretty fun team, Monofire. Usually these teams are blind, which makes them very fun to fight, but they do have some accuracy up here and some accuracy up here, and I'm guessing Nightblade Mastery on King Mont. No Nightblade Mastery, so only the enemy Glaciela should be rather accurate, and the others will be missing most of their attacks. I typically, if you're running an evasion team, fighting those fire teams is a good pick because even Regalia Glaciela is rather blind, but sometimes she connects all hits in a fight because of some dumb luck, and they just completely obliterate you. So there's still a risk aspect to it. There always is when you're running evasion, unless you can somehow get to the 100% dodge gens. So here, Fred's moving to the side, gets the pugilistic mastery, which doesn't really help her, but it does immensely help Venera. So it's that type of buff that's so good for the unit using it that I don't care if it's wasted on the others. She just needs it to be able to kill people. So there we go. Enemy Rain has Spirit up in an AoE, which we don't really care about. We don't have any attack that scale of magic. So here we go. Tifa has another buff. We're going to have the evasion up on Frederika, and she's ready to fight. Meanwhile, Iron Body stance makes Venera a lot tankier. So here we go. They are using Shining Nova. That will decrease Venera's fire resistance, even if it misses. But Venera's not as evady as Fred, so she actually takes both hits, and I'm expecting her to die from the enemy Glaciela right now. Don't know what move she'll use, but she will kill us. Chooses Regal Tranquility, and yeah, she hits Venera, takes her out, but misses Fred. At that point, it's up to our 2 remaining members to take down 3 very tanky enemy team members. We immediately go for King Mont, and I am not a fan of that. I know the Carving Carnival is probably her hardest hitting move against him, and, you know, we need all the slash resistance penetration we can get, but it's only 1200 from halfway across the map. The blind doesn't really matter because he was not going to do much to begin with, and he just chooses to use double resist. At that point, can Glaciela kill Tifa? Well, yes and no. She can proc the Courage right away, but Tifa still has a chance to go, and she's going for King Mont again. Yeah, so I was talking trash about this enemy team, saying they would miss all their attacks, but so far, Glaciela's only missed a single one, which is really bad. We've managed to decrease her accuracy, and at that point, I think King Mont can never land a hit. Let's see if it's also true of Glaciela. She chooses to cast, which means she has some hit chance, but did not manage to land. So far, so good. Rain also has a hit chance because he's still trying, and then Glaciela follows that up with her limit break. She was just about to run out of AP, and I was having some hope, but this will give her some AP regen, so she'll be able to keep firing. She misses still, so far, so good. What can Fred do? She spins around and deals some damage to the enemy Fred, but they're just too resistant. King Mont generates some hate, stays in place, not doing anything else, and then Glaciela, is she going for the crystal? I don't know, but she landed the hit, which is really bad for us. King Mont now has some chance to hit, which means our luck up buff and evasion up buff have ran out, and now the enemy team is able to hit us much more reliably, so Rain chooses Power Break, and eventually wins the fight. So that was it for this team. Overall, I would say this seems a lot stronger than the previous setup, mainly because Fred is an actual threat. If your evasion unit just keeps dodging all the hits but doesn't take out anybody, she's not doing much. Even like this, I feel like Fred struggles with killing enemies a little bit, mainly because she's really focused on slash-oriented moves. Perhaps having the ninja sub-job in Doton would be better, but then she would still, she could use her pierce attacks right there, and she did not. So I'm not too sure what she's lacking in terms of offense. I'm thinking perhaps if we were to replace her individual VC with the Earth Attack Up VC and just give our entire squad more Earth Attack Up and some Slash Attack Up on top, she would be past the threshold where she sometimes one-punches people, but then her evasion would be a lot lower as well, and we know how quickly she dies when she gets hit. So it's a hard unit to figure out. I'll do some more testing, some more videos, and when I have a winning formula, I will publish it. But in the meantime, hopefully you guys had fun doing these tests here, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great rest of your day.